Hello, it's Leah again. Welcome to whatever number this is. I actually haven't figured out how I'm going to do the Denver vlogs yet because I'm so far behind already. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not that person who does things in the way they said they were going to do things. Just do them in whatever order I do them in. So this is the Omaha leg of our journey though. So I am in Omaha and this is my room tour. Anyway, I thought I'd give you another little room tour, but I'll start with the view. So this is the view out the window, and that's really kind of where Old Market starts down that way. Technically, I think you go down and then that's where the restaurants are, but apparently there's lots of good stuff still on this side as well. This ice cream place seems to do pretty well. There's heaps of people there yesterday, which by the way was Good Friday, and it was full. Anyway, this is the bed, unmade, because I've been here already a day, and also, as explained before, I always unmake it when I get into a room. This room is also big. Look at this couch. Anyway, currently this has all my crap on it, so which is fine because I don't know anyone at all in Omaha. And this is TV storage, which I have not used at all. Me, hi. And then the bathroom here, which is, oh gosh, there you go, just reasonable size room. Oh, hi again. Yeah, I did get organised and do that room tour yesterday, I think it was. Anyway, so I'm only in Omaha for 3 short nights. One of those nights is gonna be real short, and you'll hear why in a minute. So I left Denver on the Thursday night back on the Zephyr. Got back on the Zephyr at Union Station in Denver. It was not only running on time, it was running early. It doesn't depart the station early, but it arrived early. So get in, get my sleeper, get a new attendant on this leg because, you know, they have a Zephyr every day, so there's new staff all the time. And Mary is our attendant for this leg. And surprisingly, we did get dinner. Now, we didn't think we would. I was talking to a couple of people in front of me, and they didn't think that we were going to get dinner because we were leaving at about 7:15. So they'd already eaten dinner. So anyway, we got dinner on the train. I've just realised I am a bit crooked. Am I crooked or is this crooked? Hang on. I think that's a little bit better. Anyway, so we get dinner served. The server on there, she was friendly. First of all, she called me sir, and then she gave me salmon instead of chicken. And the people that I was having dinner with, they were like, you know, we'll tell her, we'll just get it sorted out. I was like, don't worry about it. I don't think she could properly understand me, because even when I asked for a beer, it was like, I don't know. I think it's because of this. As Australians, we don't open our mouth enough when we talk, and because our voice already sounds different because of our accent, which I don't really think is that noticeable, but apparently I'm delusional. We don't open our mouths a lot. We're lazy talkers. So I think she probably just couldn't understand me, or maybe she didn't care, who knows. Anyway, had the salmon, it was fine. Had a very nice dinner actually with the people that I was sat on the table with. And it was very nice. In fact, when we finished, I think it was Jim, I think it was the fire marshal, he was like, oh, maybe we can go to the observation car for a drink. And I said, oh, I can't, I actually have to go and charge my phone and message my family that I'm on the train and I'm okay. But my phone was practically flat when we left Union Station, so I didn't get to do that. Also, I was getting off the train real early because when we left Denver, by the time we get to Omaha, we're in a different time zone. It skips forward ahead an hour. So I was already thinking to myself, well, you know what, I'm going to get myself to bed by about 10 and at least enter a rest state, if not actual sleep. Anyway, well, 10 immediately turned into 11, right? Because we lose an hour when going to Central Time. And then we're making very good time. So we were actually scheduled to arrive into Omaha at about 4:59, which is already obscene. In past Leah, who made these plans, she was like, that doesn't seem too bad. Well, you know what? She's an idiot. It seemed... We'll get to that. Anyway, so I think to myself, you know what? Maybe I'll wake up at 4, because that way even if we get in early, I can have a quick shower and get ready. I'm not going to do makeup or anything like that, but I'll be ready anyway. Then I didn't really properly sleep again on the train. But at 4, my eyes ping open. I'm like, I'm done. We're not even pretend sleeping anymore. Check my watch. 4 o'clock on the dot. Anyway, then about a second later, I get a little knock on the door. It's Mary, because the train is going to be arriving in about 22 minutes. That's right. The train was like half an hour early already, right? And I'm like, the one leg, I would have been like, I don't mind if it's late, if it's an hour or two late, right? It was not late. It was real early. So we got into Omaha before 4:30 in the morning. And it was pitch black and it was very cold, and I thought, even with my brilliant plan of picking a hotel just over 1 kilometre away, when I was making this plan, I thought, it's fine, I can just walk there. And I can walk 1 kilometre. But I cannot walk 1 kilometre at 4:30 in the morning in pitch black in a city I've never visited before, where I don't know a single person or landmark. Anyway, so I wait at the train station. I think, you know what, I'll just stay here as long as I can. Like, if they don't ask us to leave, I won't. Anyway, so I wait, I kill some time, wait some more, wait. Eventually think the sky will start to lighten, and then, you know, the walk with my suitcase to the hotel, I will use up some more time, because I had already checked with the hotel that I could leave my bag there during the day. Anyway, it just stays dark. It's so dark. It doesn't start getting light till way after 7 o'clock. Anyway, before that, I give up. Check if I can get an Uber. I can, luckily. So I get an Uber from the station. It's a bit of noise in the hallway. From the station to the hotel. Leave my bag. Sit in the lobby for a reasonable hour, waiting for a coffee shop to open. Find one around the corner. It opens about 6:30 or something. This is not what I expected in Omaha. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. Go there. It's alright, it's nothing great. And then I think, don't really love the vibe here. I'll try a different one. So I go further up the street. Okay, you know what, about 1 kilometre away from here is another coffee shop. I'll just go try that out now. Keep in mind, this was Friday, and Good Friday it was. Yeah. And I didn't tell you that. I thought, I without even thinking, I scheduled to arrive here on Good Friday, not having any idea really about how things worked in other countries on the Easter break. That's right, no hot cross buns. There is no Easter break. Because then I did think, what if nothing's open on Good Friday? What am I going to do? Sit in the foyer for 12 hours? Right? Because, like, literally, what can I do? I go to this other coffee shop. It's pretty nice, pretty light filled. Have a coffee. Actually, everybody who works in that building, because it's the ground floor of a business, they say what pass, they say good morning, which was very pleasant. And I think to myself, you know what? I will just continue a little bit further up the road and go to the Children's Museum. But I do a little bit more research on the Children's Museum, and I find out that it kind of looks like that this one is really specifically it seems to be a small children's museum. And I don't mean small as in the building is small. I mean for small children. And you might be thinking, oh, duh, Leah, it's called a children's museum, but I can tell you that Indianapolis, boy, that was really, really chewed on every vowel in that. Children's museum is for children and adults of every age. So I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Look around, see what's close-ish, see about a kilometre different direction is an art gallery that looks really beautiful actually, and I think, you know what, I'll go there anyway. Make my way there, get a little bit closer, think, they look like diggers in the background of all the backyard or the parking area of that building. Oh, I think that's the that's the gallery. Anyway, I recheck the gallery, and even though the first time I looked on it, it said the opening hours were from 10 o'clock. This time it said opening hours temporarily closed. So it was closed. I was like, cool, this is cool. I'm fine. This is fine. Anyway, so, I mean, really, honestly, what else am I going to do? I can't check in till 3 o'clock. So then I think, I don't know what to do now. Should look for a public library because I like libraries, and I should just see if I can find one. Anyway, I find it. Back the other way, which is fine because, again, I've literally got nothing else to do. Now I head back down there. And by the way, Omaha is like this. I was going like this the whole way. So luckily on the way back I was going like this. Anyway, and then I find this like bison sculpture things. Anyway, I'll put in some footage here. Yeah, because I was looking at them going, oh, they're pretty cool. My phone is almost flat. I'm like, you can't really take a photo of them. I'm like, yeah, but you got your camera right in your bag, take it out and take a photo. Like, that's the whole point of why you're here, is to look and see it, look and see. That's the whole point of why you're here, is to look and experience new things. And you love public art, and this is public art. Anyway, public art. So then I make my way to the public library, and it is, it's very nice. It's a lot more modern building than, I mean, as you may have known if you watched last year, that I went to like the Boston one, New York, and the Congress, which are really classic, like big, old, you know. But this one was nice. It was cute. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but it was a cute library, right? And it was warm, and it was really well used. Like, it had, like, from children to older people were all in there, and I know, like very small children too, because I heard them crying, and not in a bad way, like, oh god, these kids are crying, but like, you know, look, kids cry when they go out sometimes. What are you going to do? Anyway, and when one lady was taking her little baby out, one of the librarians said, oh, is everything okay? And she said, yeah, we're leaving. And she's like, no, that's not why I'm asking. I'm like, is everything okay? Like, you don't have to run out of here with your crying baby. It happens. Anyway, and then there was somebody else. I could hear him giving help to someone trying to set up what sounded like online shopping. And he was really patient, just helping and whatever. Anyway, I stayed there for a while, charged my phone, enjoyed the warmth, started reading a book, and just thought, what a nice little space. Then I went, I am so tired. I am almost falling asleep here because I walked around almost the whole day in Denver before. I barely slept on the train, and I woke up at 4 o'clock. And I'm just, even when it gets to 10 o'clock, that's 6 hours, but it's still only 10 o'clock. I still got 5 hours before I can check in. Anyway, I get to about 12:30. I see there's a sandwich shop just up the road from the hotel. I go there, I get a meatball sub. I went back today and got a tuna melt, just by the way. Let me show you something. This is a cookie, but look how big it is. It is very thin. You can't see it that way. It is very thin. But it's very big. Anyway, sit there for a while, have my Subway, then come back to the hotel, and gentleman greets me and he's like, "Are you ready to check in?" And I was like, "I know I'm early, but I cannot walk the streets any longer." Like, not to be dramatic, but I absolutely could not walk them any longer. I was so tired. I was like the Walking Dead. And then he's like, "Well, let's get you in a room." Anyway, so it was not 3 o'clock. He did check me in early, but oh my God, when I got up, he was like, "Oh yes, I did it." And then I was like, "Oh, you know what? Before I came here, I should have gone to the convenience store across the road, got some drinks and something to have for dinner later, because I'm not going to want to do that later." And then I thought, shut up, future Leah. Don't interrupt us right now. We need to lay down. So talked to Mum on the phone for a little bit, and then I actually did fully go to sleep in the middle of the afternoon because I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. My eyes were like, they were black under here, and wait, they were like shopping bags. If I went shopping, I could have put my groceries in there. Anyway, then at about, I don't know, 7:30 or something, I thought, actually I am a bit hungry and I really just want a drink. Like, I've got water, but I want something else. Anyway, then I got very mad at past Leah because pajama pants Leah had to put on real pants to go outside and get a drink and a snack. So, you know, it turns out I didn't, because I saw someone in the street in their pajamas. So I could have gone out, Mum. I wouldn't. You know what, maybe one time. Anyway, go get my drinks, whatever, come back. Next day, enjoy the complimentary breakfast at the hotel, get an Uber to the Henry Dawley, I think it is Dawley, Henry Dawley Zoo and Aquarium, which has been voted the #1 zoo in the world. I'm not sure by who, but this doesn't feel like one of those things, you know, where people go, "Well, it's best coffee," and then you have the coffee and you're like, I don't think so. Either you're talking about a different world or you don't understand what best is. Anyway, that zoo was amazing. Now tell me this doesn't feel like going to Jurassic Park. My room looks a little different, I know, and that's because I am now home. And also, surprise, I'm sick again. The lasting souvenir of my final plane ride. So, I actually recorded this section 2 times and it didn't work 2 times. And I was like, I'll do it again, but then I got mad about having to do it a 3rd time and I didn't do it. And now I'm like editing the Omaha video going, why didn't you do it when you said you would do it? Anyway, here we are. So, yeah, that zoo is incredible. Like, as you're driving through the car park, you see that Jurassic Park like dome coming, like as you're heading through. It's amazing. Even though I'd read that it's like the largest indoor safari, I think it was called safari, maybe, you know what, doesn't matter what it's called, the largest indoor holder of animals, it still is surprising when you're in it. As you approach it, you do think, oh yeah, it's big. And then you get in it and you think, oh yeah, it's big. And then you see a few animals and you think, it's big, but it's, you know, it's got a bit of empty space in it. Right? Now, bear with me, okay? But then you go in one part and you start to go down, right? So you have all this outside stuff. I see a kookaburra. I can't believe it. I actually yell out loud, oh my God, a kookaburra. Obviously nobody else cares about a kookaburra, but my Australian heart cares a lot about a kookaburra. Anyway, so you go down another layer in there and it's like a reptile park, of course, you know, and I see some Australian snakes and actually outside I see some rattlesnakes. This is in Rattlesnake Canyon. Unbelievable, like a swarm of them. I don't think you call a pack of rattlesnakes a swarm, but anyway, there's a lot of them. Anyway, now I might be getting these layers mixed up because it's been a few weeks now, but there's like the outside part, which has got like a deserty part and a South American part. Then you go in and there's like the reptile park, which has got obviously lizards, snakes. There's Rattlesnake Canyon. Then you go down a bit and there's like a swamp. And yeah, I know, right? This is all in the same infrastructure. This swamp, and the swamp is enormous and it's dark. And there's these huge crocodiles and alligators in there, and these really big fish, like you can't see because my hands are off screen, but like this, like massive fish because you can see them in the lake even though it is really dark in there. Then I also see beavers. Now, have you ever seen a beaver? Now, don't be rude, but I've never seen a beaver in real life, right? Now, stop it. I thought they were like this big, right? Yes, I thought this was a beaver, right? Anyway, nah, they're like 60 centimeters tall. They're big. I was shocked when I saw it. I think I might have gasped because I was like, oh my God, I didn't know they were so big. Now, I appreciate that 60 centimeters tall might not seem so big, but if you were thinking it was about 30 centimeters tall, that's double the size. That's big. Heaps bigger than you think they are. Well, I thought they were. Wow, they're like dogs, medium-sized dogs. Then you go down another layer, and this is the dark level, right? And it's so dark in there. I actually lose my bearings, and I can't tell whether the part that you're supposed to walk through is really like an open door or whether it's windows, and I'm like, I can't tell. I honestly can't tell. And I start to get a little bit freaked out, to be honest. Even though they give you this part that has nothing in it really to try to help you get used to the dark. Anyway, I'm like, ooh. It's a bat cave. Yeah, like a full-on bat cave, right? Like you're in Batman's bat cave. There's about 5 different types of bats in there. There's like this waterfall thing providing like ambience and sound, and then look, I'm gonna be honest with you here, as cool as it is to see different sized bats, and it is cool, it does smell a little bit, and I am a little bit squeamish, and I'm like, I'm enjoying this, but I must leave now. And then you leave out of there, and I reckon there might be even a little bit more after that. Anyway, then at some point, because you kind of go down and then come back up inside this one structure, and it, you know, kind of brings you back out into the dome, like the foyer entry part of the dome. It's amazing. When you look at it, you will not believe how layered it is and how many animals are held in this one space. Now, if you philosophically don't agree with the idea of zoos, you probably will not enjoy it. But if you recognise the role that zoos play in conservation and that type of thing, you will enjoy it probably, because it's incredible. It's incredible that this one structure holds these different, really specific climate and living conditions for this so many different animals, and they're all like, and the animals are living together too, right? I mean, some of them are by themselves. The rattlesnakes are 100% by themselves, but like in the swamp, the alligators, the fish, the beavers, they're all together, just all in the same place together. Yeah, so when I come out of there and then I go to the aquarium, I get some lunch while I'm there, and then I go into the aquarium. Yeah, the aquarium is on site, right? You don't pay extra for it. It's included in the price of your ticket. The aquarium as well is like, it's got all these penguins in it, and the penguins with their little yellow tag on their top of their fin flipper, whatever these things are. That indicates that it's a baby. So because there's all different size ones in there, right? They've got king penguins down to smaller ones. So even some of the ones that are bigger are still babies because they're from a bigger breed. Yeah, there's a giant Pacific octopus in there. There's Nemo and Dory, and yeah, it's another big structure as well. I leave there and then time to go on safari. So I go out and there's, you go into what is the African safari part, and there is like a rhino and deer type, different types of deer or antelope and giraffes, and they're all in the same pen. And on the top of this, actually, you'll be able to see there's like a chairlift. That chairlift looks like it goes up over all of the African landscape part, because you'll see soon when we get to the top of this space that there is the lion enclosure, and I think that's where it starts. There's also a train that can take people around, because honestly, it's so big. If you have some mobility issues, or you don't want that train, because it's massive. And they go into the giraffe enclosure, and like there's a separate giraffe enclosure where the giraffes go in at night, I guess. And there's baby giraffes in there, so it's really cute. It also smells a bit like animal in there, so I don't stay super long because I am weak like that. Then I come out and I go into the elephant enclosure. The elephant enclosure is new, I think. Anyway, this also has babies in it. It has like 3 babies in it. 2 that look about the same size and 1 that looks a lot smaller. Anyway, baby elephants, man, so cute. Again, it does smell a bit like animal, so I enjoy it. Like this. And then I leave. And then you go around. The elephant enclosure is really large, but none of the elephants are out there. They're all enjoying their new home. If theirs isn't the new home, then the giraffes are in the new home. Either way, both structures are pretty impressive. Then there's zebras. And then you follow along and there's cheetahs. I didn't see a cheetah though. They're there, but I didn't see them. There's another eatery. There's quite a few different eateries around, right? And then you just keep following this track up. There's more antelope type animals, and then you get to the lion enclosure at the very top. Yeah, and that's really cool. Like when I got there at about the same time as a family with some kids, man, the kids ran to look and touch at everything because it's such a good setup, that base camp. It's so cool. And then I go, just follow the truck back down, see more animals, see the train again. Now I'm heading towards the Asian enclosure at this point, but it's also getting quite late, and I think that the zoo closes at 5. There's a snow leopard in there, and I think, I really want to see that snow leopard, but it's getting close to 5 o'clock, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get back to the gates by 5 o'clock. Anyway, I wish I had kept going, because I think it's kind of rounding up at 5, but it doesn't actually close until 6. Like, I think the buildings close at 5, but the zoo, I think, closes a bit after that. I think they kind of round people up as they go along. So, anyway, I didn't go through all of the Asian exhibits, so I didn't see the snow leopard, so I guess I'll just have to go back. And then go back down, and then I see the gorilla enclosure, and I think, well, there's still heaps of people going in there, so if they don't want us to be out here, that place will be closed, and they'll be moving us along, so I pop on in there. Yeah, I think they have a couple of new gorillas, or at least one new gorilla. And the gorillas are sharing, a couple of the gorillas are sharing their enclosure with another couple of monkeys. And they're really mean. They're very cheeky little ones. They're really bullying the gorillas. Even though they're smaller, they're annoying them. And, so I watch them for a little while because it's, it's interesting to watch, right? And then, I talked to someone when I'm in there. She asked me, what's in the rest of the enclosure. I'm like, I don't know. It's the first time I've been here. But she tells me, because she's like, oh, where are you? You're not from here. I'm like, no, I'm from Australia. And she tells me, too, that she's from Kansas, but she's never been to a zoo in Kansas, but she's been to this one twice. That's how good it is, right? They come to this zoo twice. Anyway, And I leave there, walk past the seal enclosure, which I don't go to look at because, to be honest, the seal enclosure is my least favourite part of the Adelaide Zoo because it really smells. And again, at this point I'm thinking, I don't know how far we are from the exit now, right? I don't know how much of this path weaves. Anyway, so I keep walking. Then there's a water park. The water park is closed because I guess it's technically still the low season or the colder season. So the water park is closed. But yeah, that's right. There's a water park in here too. Then there's like this open air theatre where there's like all this sitting where I guess they do talks and animal shows and stuff. And they're building a new enclosure too for some orangutans and some other animals, and that's then when you come up to the back view of the Jurassic Park dome. I mean, I know it has a name, but I don't know. It does seem like, in Jurassic Park where they keep the pterodactyls. That's what it feels like when you look at it. Anyway, it was an amazing zoo. Amazing. Like, really, like, so big. You definitely got to wear comfortable shoes. And really just, it's nice to see the animals all in joint enclosures too, because you don't see that a lot. Anyway, it was really cool. Oh, also there was a butterfly house. I didn't go and look at that because I was a bit like, I don't know. I'll come back to it if I've got time. Obviously I didn't have time. And also I wasn't really to be honest, I wasn't running to see a butterfly house. Like, for me, I wanted to see the dome and the aquarium, and everything else was a bonus. The day after I go to the zoo, it's my last full day in Omaha. I leave the next day at 5 o'clock. So on this day, I think, you know what, I'm going to go and have a walk around Old Market. I'm going to see what I can see and whatever. And the first thing I come across is like this toy Imaginarium. This is a massive like toy and collectible shop. Buy a couple little treats in there for some people I know. Then I go, not me, just so you know, not me. I'm really just really walking down the street to see what's open, because now it is a Sunday. I don't think that things are closed because it's Easter Sunday. I think that things have reduced hours because of it's Sunday. So maybe I should have switched around the zoo and the market day, but it's fine anyway. See, there's a park, like a Park of America or something. I'll go and have a look at that. I'm getting close to it, but it smells like fertilizer, like that, like blood and bone type fertilizer. It is strong, and I'm like, I can't. I don't. No, thank you. So I go back, and then I see there's a gallery. I'm like, excellent. I go look in this gallery, go in, because the door is wide open, and there's a sandwich board out the front. You know, those boards. Anyway, I get in, and she's like, oh, we're closed today. All right. Yeah, they're hanging a new exhibition, so I can't go in there. But obviously, there's a few other places that are closed. And then I go, you know what, I'm just going to go back to that sports bar I saw before, and I'm going to have a beer and watch TV. But, I mean, look, I tried to do environmental or outside activities, and I tried to do a cultural activity, and I couldn't. So I had a beer instead. Then that night, I had to try to find where I could have a steak. Because when you look up what is Omaha known for, steak is the number one answer. And when I was talking to someone on the train, and we're talking about like what I'm going to do in Omaha, and I was like, well, I'm going to have a steak, that's for sure, and I'm going to the zoo. And then he said to me, actually, did you have bison or buffalo? Bison. And I told him I tried it once, but it was in a burger, and I don't think that's a great example of bison. He said, no, it's different when you have it in a steak. And he was like, actually, Denver, there's really probably only a few places in the country where you can have like really good examples of it. He's like, Denver is one, and Omaha is definitely another one. So when I was looking at different restaurants to go to, I did find one that had bison, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try it. But they were closing actually by the time I was walking past. They were like getting ready to close. I would have been that person that's like, is the kitchen still open? You know, and everyone's like, ugh, technically, but like, go away. Anyway, so I find another place, and I go there to just get a regular steak, not a bison steak, just a regular steak. And, you know, I'll see, you know, get sat where I'm sat, but excellent, point myself at the TV because there's some college hockey on, so I just watched that. And some lacrosse too. I was watching that. Man, that sport is like, you gotta be super fit to play that. Anyway, so I order my steak and it comes out. And I have a face that makes its face when it has a feeling. You may have one of those faces too. And I get my steak and I start to get cut, to cut it type of thing. And then I realise my steak is already cut, right? And I'm confused because I don't understand why someone has cut my steak for me. I'm not a child. But I guess it's just the way they serve it, right? It's been sliced along. Anyway, because I make this face at it, my server comes back in a little minute. He's like, is everything alright? Is it cooked the way you wanted? And I was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Because it was. It's cooked how I wanted. I was just surprised that it was already cut for me. That's all. Anyway, so I have an Omaha beer there that I now cannot remember the name of. And I have my steak, and it is a nice steak, by the way. And even if it was pre-sliced for me, no, it was nice. And really though, during the day, I am concerned and preoccupied with getting the train the next day. So I know that the train departs at 5 o'clock. I know I'm about 1.1 kilometre away from the train station, and I know I can technically walk there, but I am concerned about walking there at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? My suitcase, my backpack, which obviously has all of my things in it. The suitcase is like clothes, right? If someone steals that, good luck to them. It's clothes and presents for my family, so good luck. But my backpack has everything in it, right? So I'm concerned about that, and I speak to the lady at reception. She's like, let's get you sorted with a taxi, it's fine. Anyway, so she tells me, she's rang up the taxi, it's fine, that as long as I that they'll come, that they know that I want to leave by 4:20, I want to have left the hotel. So I'm ready downstairs 4 o'clock, and because they had said that once a taxi is called, it'll be available within 10 minutes. Well, the taxi gets called, doesn't show up. Luckily the lady working at reception, she tries the other taxi company too, doesn't show up. She can't get an answer from them at all. I am thinking I've got a cut-off point, right, from when I have to, if I'm going to walk, I have to leave by that point to make sure I get there in time. Anyway, I was like, you know what, I'll just try Uber, you never know. Anyway, thank God. And the guy who comes to pick me up, he must have hammered along. But also, right, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, there's no traffic. So he gets there super quick, gets me to the train station super quick. I'm so relieved, right, because it's just removed this huge amount of stress that I pretty much carried all the day before and a little bit the day before that, because, again, what seems like a very good idea when I was doing my booking didn't seem that crazy of an idea. It was actually high level stupidity. So, well, yeah, I was so worried about it. I was even looking to see if I could get a bus out of from Omaha to Chicago, if there was any bus available, or like just an alternate type of transport. Anyway, the point is, it was stressful. I would not do it again, but luckily it worked out. Anyway, Omaha was interesting. My first day there was a bit rough because of the circumstances in which I arrived, right? Getting somewhere at 5 o'clock in the morning is not ideal. Going about everything else is, again, not ideal. Being tired, having not slept on the train, all of these things, right, meant that when I was there, I was like, this isn't the best. Although, to be honest, I did walk around a reasonable amount of the city and see a reasonable amount of the different types of buildings and the up and down nature of Omaha. And I did actually also this is just an aside, had really good fried chicken and a biscuit from the servo / convenience store that was right near my hotel. I know, it's so funny because one of my friends told me about really good fried chicken at a servo on the way from Adelaide to Melbourne. She's like, I know what you're thinking, but it's really good. Also, it is really good. Anyway, so have this spicy fried chicken. It's good, but the biscuit is so good too. But okay, it's from a convenience store, right? Like a servo. Anyway, if you are in the area, I would 100% recommend making a detour to Omaha, if for nothing else than to go to that zoo, because it is remarkable. Alright, well, even though I'm home, I've hardly seen anyone, so still love you, still miss you, bye.